Hi Jazzy, here's the hot water tank video. So for this one, I'm just going to show you switch on the right hand side, switch on the left hand side. The one on the right hand side goes to the main heating element, so the bottom heats the majority of the tank, probably 3/4. One on the left goes to the boost, at the top here, probably heating up 1/4 for short durations. Boost should rarely be used. If it's used, you need to keep a timer on how long you've turned it on for, because the thermostat cutout doesn't, it's not as rated as the one at the bottom, which will cut out when it reaches a certain temperature. This one here will just keep pumping in power and heat into a very small volume of water. So this one here for about an hour is probably the most you could use it for, hour and a half max. So the main tank, so if you've got cold water in the taps, obviously you're expecting, when you've turned the hot water on, obviously you're expecting hot water. There's probably a fault with the hot water element at the bottom. To give you a short-term fix, see if the boost works to kind of give you some hot water for the interim, obviously making sure you're not keeping the switch on for more than an hour at a time. If once you've sorted that and you've got yourself a temporary solution, there's a YouTube video I've added into the Excel file that shows you how to reset the thermostat in the main tank by safely ensuring that first of all you switch all of these sockets off. You then pull the fuse out from this one here, just to be safe as well. You then go to the fuse box and turn off the fuse switches, which are in here. I'll show you which ones. Okay, there we go. So once you're here, you move the fuse out of the way. Top right you've got then is access inside here, and you're looking to turn off the fuse switch that says, you can't really see it very well, but it says immersion 1 and immersion 2, which are 3 and 4. Just turn them both down, so currently they're flicked up. You would turn it down and then you would come back, and then once you've come back you could then proceed to taking off the grey cover down here, and number 2, using a flathead screwdriver to take this screw off. Once you take that screw off, everything's obviously switched off. You make sure that switch there is off, that switch there is off, the fuse is out. Once you've taken this grey cover off, using a very thin needle type screwdriver, which I'll show you in a minute, you can actually press a reset button inside there and then put the cover back on, put the screw back in, and then you can proceed to actually turn the fuse back on the fuse box, and then you can pop this fuse here back in, and then you can turn both on and wait about 30 seconds, and hopefully you hear the hissing sound there, and then that's fixed the hot water issue. So then you've got hot water in your hot water tanks. If you turn your taps on and there's no water, that's a mains water issue, so you have to look on thameswater.com to see if there's a leakage or an outage in the area. And the other one is if there is low water pressure, so you turn the taps on but the pressure is quite low. Again, the first thing to check is Thames Water to see if there's a local leak. If that doesn't work, then it could be an internal system low pressure issue, and there's 2 ways that will manifest itself. Either there will be dripping water in this tundish, this is called a tundish, and I can slip my finger in there. What I'm going to do is I can test a valve to show you how the tundish works. So I'm going to see the water running through there. That's me testing the valve. So once I have let go of that valve, that should stop dripping eventually. And it stopped dripping. So if I put my finger there, there's nothing there. That's dripping. If there's low water pressure, that will probably be dripping. That you need to then call me, and I'll have to get a plumber to come out. So that's me explaining what to do if there's no water. It's probably a Thames Water issue. If there's cold water, it's probably an immersion heater issue, in which case we'll have to do some maintenance. If there's a low water pressure issue, you'll probably see it through dripping water there, which is definitely the need to repressurize the air gap. and I'll have to call a plumber out, or you'll see it in the taps, and it could be that it's actually a local leak, in which case not to worry about our system. Right, so there's 4 scenarios there. Okay.